matches in international football which have been banned from happening. Russia and Ukraine were banned from playing one another 11 years ago when their initial war began. Spain won't play Gibraltar because they do not recognize it being a British overseas territory. You even heard the players chant in their celebrations after they won the Euros.
Are you sure about this?
Serbia does not recognize Kosovo's independence either, which is why they're banned from playing one another. But UEFA or FIFA forgot to ban Serbia from playing the country they've been in war over Kosovo with, Albania. They were put in the same Euro qualifier group for the 2016 tournament, and as many probably would have predicted, things got ugly fast. In the actual Euro 2024 tournament, there was even a chance for them to play one another, but luckily Italy formed the deadly group on paper instead of it being potentially deadly for other reasons. But first, a bit of backstory of why these two countries don't like each other. For hopefully understandable reasons, I will not go into the deepest detail, and also only cover more recent history, as the tension between the two countries actually goes back even further in history. Kosovo declared independence from Serbia in 2008, but Serbia still refutes it to this day. It's a touchy situation without a doubt, as the war began in 1998. With a lot of Kosovo's population being ethnically Albanian and feeling suppressed by Serbian authorities, war broke out. It lasted 1 year after NATO intervened, bombing Serbia in 1999. Hence why Bill Clinton has a massive poster and statue in Kosovo's capital. I'm not going to get into more detail though, there's plenty of other videos on YouTube for that. But back to that Euro qualifier campaign, the group was not easy on the surface for either team. And at the time, neither have qualified for the Euro tournament before. Albania kicked things off incredibly, where they picked up a 1-0 victory over Portugal while playing away. They also drew with Denmark 1-1 later, while Serbia that same week just drew 1-1 with Armenia, scoring a late equalizer. Next, both had to face one another in Belgrade, a hostile atmosphere without a doubt. The refs suspended the match because of flares launched onto the pitch, but things really got bizarre around the 41st minute, where a drone flew above the pitch, with the flag attached showing Greater Albania. Greater Albania is a nationalist concept that seeks to unify the lands that consider to form their national homeland. This includes parts of Greece, North Macedonia, Montenegro, Serbia, and all of Kosovo. Obviously, this would trigger Serbian fans, but the initial reaction was just shock, as no one really knew what the drone had as its flag, until the drone ended up going down far enough on the field where many could see what it said, and Serbian defender Mitrovic was able to grab a hold of it and took it down. This resulted in a couple of Albanian players immediately rushing over to wrestle it off him, eventually grabbing it themselves and running off with it. A Serbian fan stormed onto the pitch and smashed the Albanian player Balai in the head with the stool. Captain Tana immediately fought back, and of course more violence occurred on the pitch and stands. The players were immediately told to storm off the pitch for a suspended match. Kolarov and Ivanovic tried to protect the Albanian players, but they had to storm fast as Serbian players were throwing loads of objects at them. Even one supporter was able to make direct contact himself. Ismail Morinai, the person flying the drone, was not even at the match, and actually was just hanging out at the top of a church where he had a view of the pitch. No serious injuries occurred because of this. But this match had a shockwave of violence spread throughout Europe. Many incidents of crime and violence were reported in more than several countries. But the match suspension resulted at first with Serbia just getting a 3-point deduction, along with the match finishing 3-0 for Serbia. Both Albania and Serbia were not happy about this outcome though. So after protesting again to the top officials, it went Albania's way, while Serbia were kicked to the curb. They were given a 3-point deduction, and Albania were handed a 3-0 victory instead. This basically left Serbia distraught that they have little to no hope in qualifying for their first ever Euro championship as an independent nation, as along with that 3-point deduction, the rest of their qualifier road was quite difficult. Serbia only picked up 2 wins after that, first defeating Armenia 2-0, and got revenge against Albania, beating them 2-0 away the next time they faced. With the point deduction though, it left them second to last with just 4 obtained, while Albania had an impressive campaign without a doubt, getting second over Denmark. But looking at the point difference, there's no denying that the 3-0 victory awarded over the abandoned match assisted their achievement of qualifying for their first ever major international tournament in their history. The two countries thankfully have not played one another since, but this matchup is still allowed to be played today. I was being genuinely serious earlier. They could have been in the same group in Euro 2024. And with Croatia in the mix as well, German police would have had quite the busy month. And even while Serbia were in a different group, there were still issues. The Serbian FA threatened to withdraw from the tournament after Croatia and Albania played each other as the fans chanted to kill the Serbians. While I do not condone this behavior whatsoever, it is quite hypocritical of the FA to act like this never happened on their end either. In fact, it did during that match we just talked about for the Euro 2016 qualifiers, and even in the 2022 World Cup, which we will get into later. The Serbian FA demanded serious punishments for both teams, and in the end they all got a fine, including Serbia, but for all separate encounters. all were eliminated in the group stage of that tournament. Now, although we have not seen these countries play each other since, this tension has still been brought up in other fixtures. In fact, it caused a new rivalry to be born between Switzerland and Serbia. It all started in the 2018 World Cup. These two legends for the Switzerland national team have Albanian roots. Shaqiri and Xhaka both turned into their prime selves when coming up against Serbia, scoring both of Switzerland's goals, defeating Serbia 2-1. But in the process of both of their goals, they did this double eagled celebration, which simply just emphasizes their ethnicity. Although it should be harmless, their intentions were not, and they both were given a fine by FIFA after the match. Of course, these two countries were drawn in the same group again in the next World Cup, where it finished again in a thriller, with an even higher overall score. And of course, Shaqiri gets on the score sheet again. Xhaka gets the assist by triggering the Serbian players towards the end of the match, and it's not done there. Now, they're in the same Nations League group, and at the time of this recording, they only played once, where Serbia finally got their revenge, defeating them 2-0. But Shaqiri just retired internationally, and of course, a World Cup win would have been more sweet. Anyway, back to Albania and Serbia, I just want to say that I really do have respect for both national teams. It was upsetting for the Serbian players at the time that they had to be punished over something that was out of their control. I mean, the likes of Kolarov and Ivanovic did everything right in the circumstances. Balkan fans are just a different breed. We see it in many other countries. The passion can be incredible to watch. But then, there are situations which are out of control. This is unfortunately not the only football story where fights broke out due to political situations. Best of luck to both of these countries in the World Cup 2026 qualifiers. Please, UEFA, just don't put them in the same group 10 years later. Anyway, I will see you all very, very soon. Take care.